Hello friend, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to discuss from The Hindu newspaper on April 1st and April 2nd. So let's start with the important news from April 1st. So the first important news is this. So core output rose 6% in February. So what is core output? Core output means output from core industries. Now what are the core industries? There are 8 number core industries in India. What are the core industries? Like coal, like fuel, like fertilizer, like cement, like electricity, like steel. These are the core industries. I will tell you in detail, but first know the news. So the output rose 6% in February. February means February 2023. So output increased 6% compared to February 2022, compared to previous year. Okay. So I will directly show you the news. So this news is published by Ministry of Commerce and Industries, that is index of 8 core industries for February 2023. Base is 2011-12 equal to 100. What is the meaning of this line? It means that it is assumed that in 2011-12 the price of the material was 100, okay, or the output was 100. Okay, so in 11-12 this is the baseline, it is 100. So compared to year on year basis, means 2011 compared to 2011-12, what are the increase in 2012-13? Then compared to 12-13, what is the increase in year 13-14? Okay, so year on year comparison, that is the meaning. So what are the 8 number core industries? I will show you directly the table. So these are the core industries: coal, crude oil, natural gas, refinery product, fertilizer, steel, cement, electricity. These are the 8 number core industries. Okay, every core industries has their weightage as per their output and growth. Now come to this is the comparison. Look, from April to February, total April to February in 2022 and April to February 22-23. So from April to February 21-22, the coal was growth by 9.8%, whereas coal in April to February 2022 growth by 15.2%. That is a positive growth. So overall growth was 11.1%, and next year means 22-23 overall growth was 7.8%. Okay. Now come to next table, that is more important. This is the table. Now look, in February 2022 coal output was 6.6% growth compared to previous year, crude oil minus 2.2% growth, natural gas 12.5, refinery 8.8, fertilizer minus 1.4, steel, cement, electricity. Overall growth is 5.9% in February 22 compared to February 21. Okay, this is the overall growth, 5.9%. Now come to February 23. Here is February 23. Overall growth is 6%. Okay, compared to previous year February 22. That is the news. Core output rose 6% in February. Core output rose 6% in February compared to February 2022. Now which sector has shown more growth and which sector show less growth? Like coal is 8.5% growth in February 23, whereas in February 22 it was 6.6%. So coal output has increased. Crude oil minus 2.2 minus 4.9 means crude oil output decreased. Now next is natural gas, 12.5% growth in 22 and 3.2% growth in 23, means natural gas also decreased. Next is refinery product, from 8.8% growth come to 3.3% growth, means natural gas also decreased. Then direct fertilizer from minus 1.4 to 22.2, a huge increase because government is providing subsidy to the fertilizer company. That is the reason behind the huge growth. Next is steel from 5.6 to 6.9, that is a growth. Then cement from 4.2 to 7.3, okay, and last is electricity from 4.5 to 7.6. So the last three sector, that last four sector, that is fertilizer, steel, cement, electricity, has shown a good growth, including coal. Coal has also showed good growth, but crude oil, gas and refinery product has shown negative growth. Okay, so overall growth in February 23 is 6%. That is the news. Move to next news. Fiscal deficit touched 82.8% of full year target in February. Now fiscal deficit, what is fiscal deficit? So government has a revenue, a collection, and government has some expenditure. Okay, so difference between collection and expenditure is called fiscal deficit. Means if expenditure is more than revenue, then that is called deficit. Okay, so we have a target. We have a target in the beginning of a financial year. We have a target that our fiscal deficit should not cross this amount. Okay, now target means time span is April to March. April to March is the 1 year, 1 fiscal year. We have a target. Now up to February we touched 82.8% of that target. Okay, so we are within that target, fiscal deficit. Now I will tell you in detail what is this fiscal deficit, how we have achieved this target. In detail I will tell you. Look at this. Okay, so this is the website from Controller General of Account, Department of Expenditure, Ministry of Finance, Government of India. So they have published our central government total revenue and expenditure detail. So look at in crore, everything is in crore. Now look, revenue receipt. Revenue receipt means, what is revenue receipt? Means revenue means the collection, the everyday collection, okay, or periodic collection, that is called revenue. Like tax, when we submit tax, that is a collection from government, okay, or cess, that is the revenue receipt. So we have a revenue receipt target is for 2023 target is this amount, means 23,48,413 crore, and we achieved up to February we achieved this amount 19,80,822, means we have achieved 84.3%. this divided by this into 100. So we have achieved 84.3% of our revenue correction. Now within this revenue receipt, what are the example of revenue receipt? Like tax revenue is this amount, non-tax revenue is this amount. So this plus this equal to this. This is the revenue receipt. We have collected 84.3% of our revenue receipt. Next is non-debt capital receipt. That is another thing from by which government is collecting revenue. Okay, non-debt capital receipt, that is 83,500 crore, out of which we have collected 58,900 crore, that is 70.5%. We have achieved our target up to February. So what are the example of non-debt capital receipt? Like recovery of loans and other receipt, this plus this equal to this. Okay, so recovery of loans, okay, these are calculated in non-debt capital. So revenue receipt equal to this, and number 4 is non-debt capital receipt equal to this. So total receipt is 1 plus 4. Okay, 1 plus 4, that is this plus this equal to this, 24,31,913 crore is our target, and we have achieved 83.9% of our target of collection. This is about collection. Now come to revenue expenditure. So revenue expenditure, this is our target, and we have achieved, we have already expenditure this amount. So we have achieved our 83.9% target. So what are the example of revenue expenditure, out of which interest payment? So when government is paying interest, that is expenditure. So interest payment is this amount, and another is capital expenditure. So there are two type of expenditure, one is revenue expenditure, one is capital expenditure. So revenue expenditure is like, what is periodic expenditure? Periodic expenditure, that is revenue expenditure, like interest payment, like salary, like loan payment, like travel payment. Okay, so any type of periodic expenditure is called revenue expenditure. And what is capital expenditure? Capital expenditure means when government invest a huge amount of capital at one time to generate asset. Okay, to generate asset, like suppose government is purchasing tons of gold from another country, that is capital expenditure. Okay, so capital expenditure and revenue expenditure. So capital expenditure is this amount and revenue expenditure is this amount. So total expenditure is 8 plus 10. 8 plus 10. Total expenditure is this amount, and we have achieved this amount. So 83.4%. So fiscal deficit is total expenditure minus total receipt. Okay, so what is the result? That is called fiscal deficit. 12 minus 7, that is this amount. 17,55,319 is our target, and we have achieved 14,53,862 crore, that is 82.8%. So we have achieved our 82.8% fiscal deficit target. That is the news. What is the news? Fiscal deficit touched 82.8% of full year target in February. So 1 month left, that is March. So within March we should maintain this limit. Okay, this limit. Okay, so that is the news. Now I will show you revenue expenditure example and capital expenditure example. Like revenue expenditure is interest payment and capital expenditure is loan disbursed. I will show you some good example, like capital expenditure are fund used by a company to acquire, upgrade and maintain physical assets such as equipment. So if government is purchase an equipment of crores of rupees to generate asset, that is capital expenditure. Okay, capital expenditure are typically one time large purchase of fixed asset. Now what is revenue expenditure? Some revenue expenditure is salaries of employee wages, overhead expenses. Okay, then general administrative expenses, research and development expenses, utility and rent, business travel, property tax. So these are revenue expenditure. So summation of revenue plus capital expenditure is the total expenditure. Okay, so revenue expenditure plus capital expenditure equal to total expenditure. So that is the news. Move to next topic. Coal India crosses fiscal year 23 output target of 700 million ton. So we have a target at the beginning of a financial year, that is beginning of from April to March, that is the financial year. So in 2020-23 we have a target that coal production output will be 700 million ton. This is our target, and at the end of fiscal year 23 means at the end of 31st March we have reached our target, means Coal India fulfill their target. Now there are several coal production company like Coal India, like Singrauli Coal Limited. So Coal India is the major coal production unit, government corporation of our country. Okay, so 90% coal is produced by Coal India and its subsidiary company. Now I will show you a table how Coal India crossed 700 million ton. Look, this is total coal production by Coal India plus other coal production company. So April 66.1 million ton, May, June, July up to February, total coal production is 785.24 million ton, out of which more than 90% is produced by Coal India. Okay, so Coal India within up to March 23 I have not written here, up to March 23 reached its target, that is 700 million ton. Look here, it is written as of Thursday March 30 the company produced 704 million ton of coal. That is a very good news. Now I will show you something about Coal India. So Coal India is a government owned coal mining and refining corporation. Government owned means more than 50% share owned by the government. Now under the ownership of Ministry of Coal, Government of India, headquartered in Kolkata, West Bengal. It is a largest coal producer in the world, and a Maharatna public sector undertaking. It is also the 7th largest employer in India with nearly 2,72,000 employees. Now what are the subsidiary? Bharat Coking Coal Limited, headquartered in Dhanbad, operates in Jhoria, Raningganj. Central Coalfield Limited, headquartered in Darbhanga, Ranchi, Jharkhand, operates in Bokaro, Karnapura, okay, Ramgarh, Giridih, Bihar side. Northern Coalfield Limited, headquartered in Singrauli, Madhya Pradesh, operates across Madhya Pradesh. Eastern Coalfield Limited, headquartered in Saktoria, West Bengal, operates in Raningganj. Mahanadi Coalfield Limited, headquartered in Sambalpur, operates across Odisha. Southeastern Coalfield Limited, headquartered in Bilaspur, Chhattisgarh, operates across Chhattisgarh, Madhya Pradesh. Western Coalfield Limited, headquartered in Nagpur, Maharashtra, operates across Nagpur and surrounding. And Northwestern Coalfield, headquartered in Margheria, Assam, operates across Assam, Meghalaya, Arunachal Pradesh and Nagaland. These 8 all are the subsidiary of Coal India Limited. Okay. Next important news is government raises rates on most small saving scheme except PPF. So there are number of small saving scheme like Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana, like senior citizen pension scheme. Okay, so almost every small scheme interest has been increased by government except PPF, Public Provident Fund. I will directly show you the notification published by the government. Okay, look at this is very hazy. So Government of India, Ministry of Finance, Department of Economic Affairs, North Block, Delhi. So what are their publication? The rates of interest on various small savings scheme for the first quarter of financial. This is for the first quarter, means April, May, June. This 3 months. First quarter, 1st April 23 ending on 30th June 23 have been revised. Okay, so savings deposit, if you deposit your money in savings account, then previously interest from 1/1/23 to 31st/3/23 means last quarter, January to March 23, the last quarter of previous year financial year, it was 4%, and the next quarter means April to June it remains 4%, means savings deposit interest remains same. Now 1 year time deposit from 6.6% increased to 6.8%, 2 year time deposit 6.8% to 6.9%, 3 year time deposit 6.9 to 7, 5-year time deposit 7 to 7.5, 5-year recurring deposit 5.8 to 6.2. Now senior citizen savings scheme, previously it was 8%, now it increased to 8.2%. Monthly income account scheme 7.1 to 7.4%. National savings certificate, huge increase 7 to 7.7%. Public provident fund scheme 7.1%, it remains 7.1%. Kisan Vikas Patro 7.2 will mature in 120 month, it becomes 7.5 will mature in 115 month. Sukanya Samriddhi account scheme 7.6 to 8%. Okay, so for the first 3 months, April, May, June, almost all small savings scheme interest rate has been increased except PPF. That is the news. Now come to next date, that is 2nd April, discussing some important news. Okay, first important news is March sees second highest GST collection of 1.6 lakh crore. So we have our month-wise GST collection. GST collection means summation of CGST, SGST, IGST, cess, everything. So GST collection is 1.6 lakh crore in the month of March 2023. Now why it is called as second highest? Because previous year in April 2022 we have seen the highest GST collection. I will show you the table of month-wise GST collection. So April 2022 1.68 lakh crore, it was the highest just after the COVID, it was the highest amount of GST collection. Then month-wise this is the GST collection in lakh crore. Okay, now second highest is March 2023. So at the beginning of this financial year and at the end of the financial year, we have seen the two most highest GST collection, 1.68 lakh crore and 1.60 lakh crore. Now come to the news. What is the news? So total gross collection 18.10 lakh crore. This is the total gross collection in this financial year. Now the gross GST revenue collected in the month of March 2023 is 1.6 lakh crore, of which central GST is 29,546 crore, state GST is 37,314 crore. Now if you think that why these two are different, I will tell you why this is different. Because most of the cases CGST and SGST the percentage is equal. Then IGST, this is the reason why these two are different. IGST means integrated GST is 82,907 crore, including within this IGST including 42,050 crore, 3 crore collected on import of goods, and cess is 10,355 crore. Okay. Now why this is two difference? What is IGST? IGST means integrated GST, means when there are trade between two state, then the GST is collected by center and the last state. Means if there is a trade between suppose Maharashtra and Gujarat, if suppose someone is selling something from Maharashtra to Gujarat, then GST will be levied by Central and Gujarat. Maharashtra will not get any GST. Okay, the end state and Central will get the GST. Okay, that is why state-wise GST collection is different, and summation of all state is this. Summation of all state is this 37,314 crore, and center is this 29,546 crore. So this is the news. Move to next topic. India, Malaysia move beyond dollar to settle trade in rupee. Now that is very important news because RBI has already announced that 18 countries are, are allowed in trade through Indian rupee. Okay, that is also called de-dollarization. De-dollarization means almost 90% trade between countries are organized through trading of dollar. Okay, but now due to the Russia Ukraine war, as India is facing trouble to deal with Russia through dollar because there is a sanction on Russia that they cannot use the dollar, so India is producing a new technique that through Indian currency exchange between two bank to bank, or also called de-dollarization, trade can be possible. Now 18 countries are already give positive signal. Malaysia has further step already seal the deal. Now what is the news? India and Malaysia have agreed to settle trade in the Indian rupee. Ministry of External Affairs announced on Saturday. Announcement came against the backdrop of ongoing official effort to safeguard Indian trade from the impact of Ukraine crisis. The shift away from US dollar, which has been the dominant reserve currency for international trade so far, has added significance as it indicates that India is willing to take concrete steps towards de-dollarization of its international trade. Now which bank is doing this business? Union Bank of India, not RBI. Okay, so Union Bank of India in a statement said that it has become the first bank in India to operationalize this option by opening a special rupee Vostro account through its corresponding bank in Malaysia. So there are a corresponding bank of UBI bank in Malaysia. So between two banks, a special rupee Vostro account will be opened on both bank, in Indian UBI bank and the Malaysian corresponding bank. Both will open an account that is called special rupee Vostro account, and through that account this transaction will be possible. So corresponding bank in Malaysia, India, International Bank of Malaysia. Trade between India and Malaysia can now be settled in Indian rupee in addition to the current mode of settlement of other currency. This follows the decision by the Reserve Bank of India in July 2022 to allow the settlement of international trade in the Indian rupee. Now, what are the 18 countries which shows positive signal? I will show you. Okay, RBI has allowed bank from 18 countries to trade in rupee, government in Rajya Sabha. So what are the bank from 18 countries have been permitted by the Reserve Bank of India to open special Vostro rupee account for settling payments in Indian rupees, the government told in Rajya Sabha. So if a country want to trade with India through Indian rupees, then that country has the bank of that country has to open a special Vostro account, rupee account. Okay. Now what are the 18 countries? Like Botswana, Fiji, Germany, Guyana, Israel, Kenya, Malaysia, Mauritius, Myanmar, New Zealand, Oman, Russia, Seychelles, Singapore, Sri Lanka, Tanzania, Uganda and UK. These are the 18 countries. Okay. So Mr. Karad informed that as per record, the RBI had granted approval to domestic and foreign AD bank in 60 cases for opening special rupee Vostro accounts of bank from 18 nations. So that is the news. Move to next news. Defense export have defense exports have touched all-time high of 15,920 crore, Rajnath Singh. So, Defense Minister told that defense export for the financial year 2022-23 touched all-time high. What is the amount? 15,920 crore. I will tell you in detail through this publication. So, Atmanirbharata on the rise, defense export reach an all-time high of approx rupees 16,000 crore in financial year 22-23. Over 10 times increase since 16-17. India exporting to over 85 countries. Very, very proud moment. So, I will tell you year wise export value. So, 16-17 only 1,521 crore. Okay, so it is multiplied by 10, you will get this value 22-23 15,920 crore. So, within 7 to 8 years 10 times increase in the export. Okay. Now, what are the product? What are the product that India is exporting? I will show you. Here are the product. Today India, which was known as an importer about 8 years back, export major platform like Dornier 228, it's a plane, 155 mm advanced towed artillery guns, BrahMos missile, Akash missile system, radars, simulators, mine protected vehicle, armored vehicle, Pinaka rocket and launchers, ammunitions, thermal imagers, body armors, besides system, line repressible unit and parts and components of avionics and small arms. There is a growing global demand of light combat helicopter Tejas, light combat helicopter, aircraft carrier, MRO activity, etc. Okay. So, a very good initiative. There are several company which is also take part in this defense export, means they are producing defense equipment like L&T, like HAL, like Bharat Electronics Limited, BEL, like the Navy product, Navy ship are produced in Garden Ridge Shipyard Limited, Kochi Shipyard Limited, Goa Shipyard Limited. Okay, so these are the companies who are taking part, who has a major contributor in the defense export in 85 countries. So, what our Prime Minister tweeted? Excellent, a clear manifestation of India's talent and the enthusiasm towards Make in India. It also shows the reform in this sector over the last few years are delivering good result. Our government will keep supporting efforts to make India defense production hub. Rajnath Singh also tweeted, a very proud moment. So, these are the total discussion from news from 1st April and 2nd April. If you like my discussion, please like the video, subscribe my channel. We will meet tomorrow with new topic. Thank you.